Hello and welcome back to the channel. It is Monday and I am here with my Sunday salvage scores because I was busy Sunday after we went to the community cycling center for their Sunday salvage sale. Even though Carl posted on Facebook that there was like nothing. I don't really go through stuff as much, and this is not getting any donations of the rain and stuff. But we still went, and it was still a great time. And we went to Burritos, and we hung out, and we went to Bike Farm, and I got too much. For a guy who absolutely promised myself I will not buy a bike or frames every single week, I got 2 more frames this week to go with the 2 frames I got from last week. I don't know what to do with it yet. Here's the Torpedo from last week, still sitting in the stand. I washed my wool blanket, so I'm using it as a drying rack. Dirty old bike, dirty old stand, it's fine. The dogs jump on me all day long anyways, they're muddy paws. I also have no room for wheels, and I got some of those. Figured we would go through it. So we got there, we went in, I didn't even ask for, they said they didn't have any bikes hanging up. They had a bunch of bikes hanging up. I didn't really look. I looked right when I walked in, and I saw this Univega hanging there, and it has real dropouts, and it says Grand Rally, and it's got real nice lugs, Champion Molybdenum double-butted tubes. So I figured it might be a Miata-made one or something. It's definitely a nicer one. But I did not buy it. There's a couple other bikes there. I'm like, nah, didn't even look. Went right over the parts to dig. Knew there wouldn't be much, so I grabbed a bunch of stuff. It's like, man, I'll probably just recycle. Whatevs. So looked at all those parts, milled around, digging around, went and looked through some of their regular used parts too, just in case anything jumped out at me. It rarely does, but sometimes I'll remember something I'm looking for. I'm like, oh yeah, dig and find it. You gotta pay regular prices, but like whatever. The regular used prices are sometimes good to insanely good. Sometimes like, what? Lots of people do it, lots of people stuff. The internet's made everything very weird. But I came back and this Univega was still hanging there. No one grabbed it. I was looking at it. Let's look at it. You can't barely see it. You can kind of see it. It had nice spoon seat stay caps like Miata, and the real lug with ears, like a nice lug, and the chromo sticker, not a fancy sticker. It just says, it says Champion, but nothing else. Champion, chromoly, double-butted, steel tube, double-butted, it's good. All these little Japanese bikes were non-butted at all. They're just all straight gauge, so 26/8 seat post sizes. So common on all Japanese bikes. It's just straight gauge tube. It's just 0.9 wall all the way up, 0.35 wall. It's got some pretty big dimples back here. Vertical drop. I think that's the Shimano EX dropout. Wasn't there their Dura-Ace dropout? Can't really tell. That was I think that was Shimano's Dura-Ace dropout. So this might have been a pretty nice bike with some pretty nice parts on it. Doesn't feel too heavy, doesn't feel light. Seat post is in it. I'm hoping it's not stuck. It's got a dirt line like 3 millimeters up from the crack, so I'm hoping it has moved. It's got the binder bolt. It's got a pump umbrella. It's got a cool sticker from Spinner Cycles and Sales Service, Grants Pass, Oregon. The old 541 number, but it does have the 3 digits in front, so it can't be that old. I feel like it was maybe 20 years ago that everyone started having to add the 3 digits in front. Oregon went from all 541 to the Portland area went 503, and now there's 971 as well, the front phone numbers. It's going to be English threaded. It's got 1 set of bottle bosses. It's got, I believe it's a 1 year only from the early, I don't remember if it was 86 or 82 or something. It might be like 81 or 2. Some of the stuff happened way earlier than you think. But it's like the Shimano AX or EX or whatever. 1 year only, a proprietary round with a little nub of braze-ons. They only fit that shifter. They're 4.5 mil, so they don't even take a regular 5 mil bolt. They only fit that shifter. It's total bullshit. You can't get that shifter. It was a bad friction shifter. No one cares. So if you come across these shifters, there are 2 tricks for them. One, you can find a 4.5 millimeter bolt, or you can start a regular tap-in and go a few millimeters, pull it out, and then take another tap. You ground the tip off. It's called a bottoming tap or a flat tap on the bottom, so it's not tapered. It's totally flat. And you can come in here and retap these threads out to M5 by 0.08, like every normal thing in the world. And then you can take those little silver Shimano STI adapters. It's a little silver thing with a barrel adjuster. So you can use your STIs or bar end shifters or whatever. It's like a cable stop. You can take those and you can file a little file mark out of the inside of them on the top. So they can sort of sit over this round brazen and sit over this horrible nub. You just have to file that out of the way so it can sit flush against the frame. So you can do that and save any frame the cheap, easy way that has these horrible shift bosses on it. And then you'd have to use bar end shifters or STIs or thummies if you put upright bars on. You have to use some other stem shift. You can use any other shifters, not down tubes. So that is a very good save, especially if you have a bike you love and want to keep riding it. And so that is basically the one save. I didn't even talk about the second. The second save is having someone like me remove these brazons. So I will sand all the paint off, clamp a clamp on here, put some flux on, heat it up, and pop this brazon off, and then braze on some normal ones. So you get the bike repainted anyways. Have me pop on some freshy brazons. I do this, I wouldn't say super often, but I've done it more than a dozen times over the last 15 years for people. Anyone's getting the bike repainted, I'm like, dude, let's do this. So I bought this bike. I asked him, so it was just hanging there as just a frame. And I asked Carl how much they wanted for it. He said, oh, it's been sitting here for a couple of weeks. So I don't remember seeing it, but that's what he said. And he goes, sitting here a couple of weeks, it's half price. What does that mean? And then I said, hey, is the fork around for it? It's got a distinctive color. You got to ask these questions. I said, no. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if a volunteer did it. And so he went and dug around, and the fork was just sitting in some random bin in the back. Not even cleaned or anything. Not checked for alignment, no nothing. Just throwing the fork in the back. It's the right matchy color. He handed to me. They usually ask a kind of money for forks. Sometimes Warren and I ask for forks. So I took the frame and fork up to the counter and said, Carl said this is half price. How much? And they said, $5. Doll hairs. So I was like, okay, gots to get it for that. After I bought it, I realized something. No eyelets on the dropouts. I was hoping this was actually a lesser quality frame, because I was hoping it was for 27-inch wheels and would have eyelets on the dropouts, because then you can put some 700 wheels in, some 32 tires, plenty of clearance for plastic fenders. Without this, it means it's probably a 700cc race bike, and it might fit 23s. So we will get it to the shop, and I will stick my dummy wheels in and some tire checkers and see what is what. Because it's just paint. I'm going to wreck it anyways to change those shift bosses. So I'll probably go ahead and change these top tube cable routing bosses too, so I can add fender eyelets to the fork and frame. It ain't the biggest deal. The crown is fairly wide. I hope it'll fit a 732 in fenders. Probably not. Because it might fit a 650B 38. Might fit 650B 38 in fenders. I don't know. It's kind of a cool bike. I like it. One thing I absolutely need to do, and I guess we can do that right now, I don't have to wait to get to the shop, is usually whenever they leave a stem or seat post in a bike, it is frozen. I've tried to sell bikes with the seat post in them, and customers get mad at me. Oh, you're trying to sell a bike with stuck seat posts. I'm like, no, I just have the seat post that came with it, and it's the right size. It's just trying to give you a leg up. Be a favor, so you have to fight trying to figure out what size the seat post is. But lately they've just been really, really lazy and just leave stems and seat posts and water bottles and just lots of stuff on the bikes, so we will see. Not stuck at all. Beautiful, very happy. And it's pretty nice. It's just an SR Le Prod, but it's in pretty good shape. Silver looks good. It's got the gray painted flutes and the gray top. I actually really like it, and if I build this bike as a shop bike or a video bike or something to sell, I'm going to leave the seat post in. It's cool. I don't really see anything else horrifically wrong. I haven't found any dents, no frontal, no evidence of frontal damage on me by a frame. Before you dish out that money, feel your finger right here, make sure there's no ripples in that tube. If it is, do not buy it. Put it in the recycling. If it's already half wrecked, it won't take much. I've known people who bought bikes and ridden kind of frontal bikes for years with no problems. Gingerly, gently commuting on them. And I know people who bought bikes like that, and the first time they hit a pothole, the whole bike folds in half. So remember, it's got no kickstand clamp damage. That's really nice because it was like a racy, fun bike. So I'm going to add this to my great pile of, oh, you know what we should do? We should measure it. I'm always hoping that someone out there watching the video or in town will see a bike I do and be like, ooh, I want that. Let's do it. I want you to do this mod and that mod. And let's add water bottle bosses, rack mounts. And, you know, I'm always hoping someone will do that so I can actually build it for fun, but get paid to do it. Instead of build it and have it sit around forever. Someone comes in and goes, eh. Because a bike like this, if I do none of the mods and someone thinks it's hot, they will give me halfway decent money for the frame and fork, and then they will pay me my regular labor rate to do all the mods. If I buy a bike like this and do all the mods myself and hang it up for sale at my regular labor rate, I'm just like, ooh, no, I would never buy that for that. So come buy bikes from me, pay me. What I've been doing is just like measuring all the bikes, checking them out, writing down what size tires are clearing, 700 and 650B, and you know, add all the specs and the size and hang them up. And I've sold a couple bikes that way. People come in and be like, I'm looking for this or that. Oh shit, that's the thing I want, and they'll buy it and do it, and that's great. But if I do it and have it sitting there, it's a lot harder. I'm gonna do that Raleigh though. The last Raleigh like competition I had, I did all the mods to and put it for sale, and a kid came down from Seattle and bought it. So I'm definitely gonna do it to that Raleigh because it's hotness. So this is a 57 by 55 short top tube. Racy. All right. 57 by 55. That's what a lot of guys like. Everybody thinks they want a short top tube, right? Until they realize what they need is a really long stem. And everyone thinks they need a short top tube and a short stem. What are you going to do? So I'm pretty stoked on this bike. $5 is an insane deal. I'm going to clean it up and measure it and do all that stuff. And if it's hot and fits good size wheels and tires, I'll probably ask $100 for it. If I have to align the fork or, you know, anything weird, I might ask a little bit more. And then, make sure these things aren't stuck, which they feel like they are. So I'll try and get them unstuck and look at everything. If I do all the mods on it, then of course it's going to be, usually I won't charge a penny for it. I'll charge $5 for it plus the regular labor rate for all the mods, and then people want a discount anyways. Like, oh, I don't want to pay $600 for that $800 of the mods. Beautiful bike, long head tube. I like it. Okay. This is the last thing I grabbed there. That's what's in the top. It is an unlabeled vintage rando bar. Little patini. Pretty nice. I still see no labels. I was looking for like a French label or, you know, a lot of bars are stamped down here, have a brand name, at least something. They're old. They're really flary and beautiful. They look a lot like modern Japanese reproductions of vintage French bars. So I'm not sure. They might be French. They seem really, really wide. 43 and a half. Where are the hood? The hoods are always so narrow. These ones flare so much. Yeah, 37 and a half at the hoods. Vintage bar, I don't know, a lot of guys have narrow shoulders and stuff, and they're gorgeous. They have the really long ramp. Everyone in the world thinks they want a short ramp. Everyone thinks they want so short. Long ramps are heaven. They're heaven. They are, especially on rando bikes, do a long top tube, so you can use a short stem, so you can have your bag sit close to the head tube, keep the weight behind your center of gravity over the center line of the axle. So no one else seems to understand or do. Everyone puts the weight super far out. Say, I don't like low trail. I'm trying to ride with no weight at all, or the weight like 6 inches out in front of my axle. Yeah, of course it's messing through steering. Long stem, or short stems and short top tubes and short bars. So long bar gives you this hand position, which I love. I ride in this hand position a lot, especially if you have a bag, especially a bag with a lid. It'll really protect your hands from the wind and the rain. And then you also have this position I like a lot. And you actually have this position too, usually, and another one where you're actually on the hood and on here. So you really have like 3 different positions, plus the drops, which I'm too old and too unflexible to actually really use. I really use the drops only when I'm standing and climbing. It makes me feel really stable and aggressive. And I know all my skinny friends right here when they climb, and I have no control over my weight and balance right here. I'm like, oh, I can't do that. I feel like I'm going to die. And in the hoods, I don't know, it's all right. But for some reason in the drops, I Feels good to stand and climb the drops. So that's a gorgeous bar. I bet it's something old and French. It's so flared. It is like absurdly flared. I love it. I might polish the center clamp area and use it on a display bike or show bike or something. It's pretty. What else did I get? I grabbed this crank. It is just an RX 100. I don't believe, I bet there was. I don't believe there was the matching other side. This crank's heavy. It's not special. The outer ring actually looks pretty good and more modern. So that's good. I might well sell it. The middle ring, which is dirty, but I don't see any actual wear on the teeth, but it's dirty. It is a stainless steel Surly ring. So those are easy to get $25-$30 for used. Easy. So $2 a pound. This is definitely a couple of pounds. I probably paid $4 or $5 for it, but I think it's worth it just for that middle ring. I may even save the inner ring, chain ring bolts. You don't have a lot. Sell the outer ring too. It's worth messing with. At the end, Carl found another one of these new old stock Bonotto bottom bracket shelves that came with that new old stock lot of Bonotto stuff. I got several. I ended up buying like 90% of the frame building stuff they got. I got like 6 tube sets, case of bottom bracket shells, a couple cases of lugs. I paid like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars for all that stuff. It's still a good deal. Been selling the dropouts for $25 to $45 a set, and I've definitely made my money back just selling, a dozen dropouts or whatever. This Bonotto frame shell is beat to poop. It's new old stock. It's Italian thread. I'll never use it, but he had it, and I was like, yeah, sure, throw it in the bag. I probably have 3 or 4 of them. I didn't take the whole case. I didn't buy because I'm like, I don't need Italian bottom bracket shells. I'll never use them. So I got a few of them. I think they recycled the rest. Even though I say never, ever, ever buy any more stems, I barely sell any stems. This one was too hot, and I could not do it. It's like a CNC machined alloy, long, road racing stem, the opposite of what anyone wants. It's got the Chinelli logo on the front. It's 31.8. Solido. Magnum. Made in Italy. Size 130. 42 and 42. It seems totally symmetrical, so you can run it as a slight positive rise. You can run it this way and have it be totally flat. 130, bro. 31.8. It's kind of modern. A little faded. A little bit of like cable wear, but no actual scruffs. All the correct bolts, which sure look like tie to me. It actually doesn't feel that light for being a machined hollow stem with tie bolts, but I don't know. It was too cool. I could not grab it. It's the opposite of what anybody wants ever. Oh, there's just an empty Ziploc. I grabbed it. I always need little Ziplocs for putting stuff in. I was digging around. There's this one Mountain LX derailleur, not in too bad a shape. It looks like really low miles, barely any scruffs, just a little on the bottom. Sometimes these scruffs are just paint. Not really, but I was touched up with a couple drops of Sharpie. The main logo is just flawless. Mountain LX, I have a few of them. People don't care, it's not like it's cool, but like it's still a great derailleur. There is an aluminum Ultegra cassette locker, and I don't know, it's not scruffy. It says Ultegra. One of these, this looks new old stock to me. It's like brand new Sun Tour bottom bracket cable guides that clamps on down by on the down tube for the right hand cable. And these often had like a little left hand cable too, and sometimes I cut them off, but the chrome's on this one. So this came as a 1x clamp on from the factory. No bolt, but not a big deal. You put any old M5 nut and bolt in, it doesn't matter. You don't need the factory one. No one's going to see it. It's underneath your bottom bracket, but it's cool, specifically made 1x Sun Tour clamp on. I just couldn't avoid it. I usually don't get the bottom ones. I have so many, they're so common. It's the top ones with the double cable stop for barns. That's the one everyone wants. That one's rare. I always grab those no matter what. They go for like $35 on eBay, bro. I mean, you need one. Nothing else will do. This is I also found this in the recycling. Last week I bought its match at Sunday Salvage, all pulled apart. But I bought it just for the bolt and this really, really cool barrel adjuster. And this bolt's nice. These are always rusty on bikes. And it's got the pad holders with the half-round washer that's always missing. And they're like faded, they're like black anodized, like faded to kind of gold or brown, I think. Yeah, it's black on the bottom. So I really got them, so I was just going to steal those washers out of it for a good set of silver brakes someone lost the washers on. Because that's what you use to do the toe in. It's like the ball bearing style hardware, 1 cups, 1 cone, so you can kind of toe and adjust stuff and tighten it down. So I saved the whole pads last time and the barrel adjuster and the nut, and I'm just going to do that with this one too. It's just some recycling. Grabbed it and put it right in my pocket. 1 V-brake noodle. Super not exciting, but I'm always out of them and never remembered to buy them new. And then I got 2 bags of stuff. 2 zippies. So this is the first one I got. I looked there, didn't think there's anything there. This bag was there. I had to grab it. It is a bag of cantilever brake parts. I have no idea if there's any whole sets. I have no idea about anything. So here's one Shimano MC70. So not the MT60, MC70. Maybe that's a slightly nicer one. Is that XT level? I don't know. I don't remember. I think that's the wrong pinch pull. It's got the pad. It's missing the spring and stuff. Here is another MC70. Oh, they have kind of cool... Oh, they got different wrong hardware on the back. This one looks like some factory stuff. This one looks like just some... Oh, no, that's... I don't know. Maybe it's different generations. Okay, I have the pads. Here is another Shimano canny. It's got all this hardware. Again, missing the spring and bolt and all that. Not super interesting. Here's a couple of Shimano style spring. Well, one's round and one's squarish, so some sort of cantilever springs. Here's another set zip tied together. They have the correct matchy hardware. This one's all rusty though. This one's good. These are the MT60s. These are the super cheap ones that just like literally no one cares about. There's like the basic Dior ones that came on everything for like a minute. Oh, this one has the little hole that's drilled and tapped for like the adjuster screw. The screw's not in it. That's nice. Some of these didn't have that. So if the springs are out of whack at all, you're just kind of boned. You can't really adjust the brakes at all. Here's an AT50. I don't remember which one that is. They all look kind of the same. Is that a cool one? I don't remember. Here, ooh, this I'm cool with. This is a set of Diacomp wide profile with the hardware, and someone has put in expensive billet, machined out. They have this screw hole in the back for a little Allen wrench. These are post mount brakes that you could adjust. That little Allen screw in the back, I think, lets this whole head pivot. So you can. I've never used these. I know Velo Orange made them for a while. I don't know if these are the Velo Orange ones. I don't think I ever bought them or tried them. So these are actually kind of expensive, cool pad holders. The pads in them look fairly new. Probably half the life left or so, at least. Can always sand them and try them. Thumbnail tap. They're pretty dang hard, but they're just replaceable pads, so I can slide them out, slide new ones in. So this is kind of cool, even though I don't really care about these Diacomp brakes. Came on a lot of cheap early 80s mountain bikes and stuff, but they're fine. I think I saw some springs in here they think are for those brakes. Okay, yeah. 1, 2, 3 different Diacomp style springs. But I think, unless these are all like rights or something. Nope, yeah, two lefts and a right. So I have 1 pair of brakes, these cool holders, but mostly I'll probably pull those holders out and put them on something else. I don't really know. Some customer will probably buy them. Another AT50. It's the match, at least. 4 more of these early 80s Shimano style big giant mountain bike pad holders. I don't think anyone actually cares about. I don't think you can really replace the pads. You probably can. I don't know. You don't just slide it out. Kind of mangled rear cable stop that goes over the lug and has a pinch bolt hold it in. It's been had the wrong bolt over tightened on it severely. Still kind of cool. You can stick it in the vise and kind of pinch it and flatten it. It'll work. 2 more round canny style springs. Oh, and a 3rd round canny style spring, a gold one with the little black back. That one's a gold one too. These might both be, that might be gold and silver. I think Shimano did that, like the left ones were gold and the right ones were silver or something to make manufacturing easier. These are different sizes and things, who knows. A couple other chrome bolts for these Shimano style brakes in very good shape. 2 more of the black backs, which are usually missing. Springs and the backs are always missing. And some more of this fun, weird hardware. It's I've never seen this before. Half round, 2 flats, a little up with an arrow on it. The little front hardwares have little arrows because they're tapered. So this is how you tow the brakes in. You turn these things. And the post tightens against it. So if you turn to the thick side, the post's over here. You turn to the thin side, the post comes in that way. Scout no barks. 2 of these little up washers. 2 of these weird half round ones. 1 nut that's probably for a stem or something totally random. A single Campagnolo front track nut in like new old stock condition. It might be something other than Campy, but man, it looks like the Campy ones. You always tell the high-end ones because they spin on the washer, so they don't just dig in. Very nice. So they're all chewed up and actually hold. I grab all these mix-match high-end track nuts. I'll make pairs sooner. I'll go through them and I'll be like, oh shit, here's a pair of fronts and a pair of rears. And they're all definitely the Campy ones. So I go look on Google. I'm like, yeah, okay. Some little nuts for posts, some random washers. So here's a fun little bag. Is it worth anything? Nah. I am starting to keep some extra bolts in these backs for complete clean brake sets that are missing stuff. So maybe I'll steal. I'm going to collect a lot of these. This is the MC70. This really might be the early XT or Deerhead or something. I don't remember. So like this might be a great brake for that. Like, it's slightly different. This chrome body's in perfect shape. The black towing thing's in perfect shape. The nut's perfect. It's got the washer, and it has the up thing, which is of course pointed down. So I have to double check. I know I have some of these Deerhead ones around somewhere. So if these are the Deerhead ones, it's kind of cool. I don't actually know if they're actually worth any extra money. I've had some on eBay forever and no one seems to care. Yeah, and here's also an MC70, but it's got the wrong back and the wrong nut and the wrong everything. What am I going to do? I don't even know what I'm going to do with this. What am I going to do with this stuff? There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with them. I'll take them to the shop and figure it out. I'll probably put these springs in my little spring bin. Save a bunch of this hardware. Maybe save this MC70 set if it's something cool. Probably save that. Probably recycle these other 3. Or maybe steal the good chrome nuts off of them because they're not rusty. They're often so rusty. He's saving a lot of parts for a pretty common brake that I don't actually ever use. But someone might want to someday. My candy bin is overflowing. I am a fool. AT50. I think these are the cheap ones. Maybe they're the good ones. They feel real light. All hardware on them. These pads I am not going to save. These MT60s, I'm not going to save them. I'm not going to save them. No one cares. Maybe I'll save this pinch bolt. Sometimes we're missing that. Yeah, so those are all going to go right in the cycling. These Japanese ones have all the stuff. No candy bolts. This whole bag got a single candy bolt. I'll save these to play with these brakes. They're kind of cool. Then I got this bag. I had a customer. If you haven't watched my video series from 2 years ago, I got a vintage mid-80s Georgiana Terry. She's like a little frame. She made like 8 or 9 frames, and at Taiwan make a bunch. She had like women-specific frames. There's nothing specific about this one though. It was a Terry race bike, like Tonge 1 and 2 tubes. Beautiful. It was when they stole the builder from Strada. They stole the builder from Strada when I was making the video. I commented, people told me they're Serrata built Terrys, like Serrata built these Terrys. It has that handmade New York sticker on it, like super cool. A guy watching my video goes, hey, actually I was the wheel builder for Terry at that time. And told me they got a little like New York warehouse and they stole like the head builder from Serrata and she came over and made all the Terrys and stuff. So that was really cool, and if you go watch those videos you can read that exchange in the comments. I hope it's still there. I made that Terry, did a 650B conversion. I got like a Panasonic front dynamo hub and silver, like polished silver Velocity Atlas rims like I always use, and went full Dura-Ace 8-speed madness. I had a whole 600 group on it, but it was kind of rusty and scruffy. I sold the 600 group for more than I paid for the whole bike. And I bought like 3 different bikes on Craigslist over the next year because one had like the Dura-Ace headset, and one had the Dura-Ace stem and the Dura-Ace rear derailleur. A different one had like the cranks and a front derailleur. Like I think I one bite it with a really tiny 38 tooth red anodized 130 BCD ring, which is the smallest size you can get for 130 road cranks. I found it on Temu or something. They got like a red rear derailleur hanger extender and like red alloy pulleys, and they used red spoke nipples. Like we went fun. We went as many red bolts and anodized stuff to make it like really fun partying. Got that Dura-Ace stem. I got some like big old 80s riser bars. I got my riser bars for it. Got a used off Craigslist. Like there's 3 of them for $100. Velo orange stainless steel Portour front racks. So I waited and waited and waited and waited and waited and finally lowballed one of the guys living up there for like a year. I think I offered him 40, or maybe he switched at the last second to 40. I'm like, yep, coming. So I got that VO front rack and put it on, and got a dynamo light off the eBay, and got the lights all wired up on it. And start frame building again. I got all these other bikes, so I put it up for sale for $11.50, which I thought was outrageous, but also it's a really cool frame, and it's got a $1,000 hand-beam wheel set on it. So a kid came and bought it for $11.50. He's really stoked. That was like a year and a half ago. He just came in and told me he's trying to put fenders on it, and it was really, really hard because that bike had no clearance. It has fender eyelets, but like 0 clearance. With 723s, it'd be almost impossible to put the skinniest plastic fenders on. 650 B38s is just as tight. I did buy from a bike farm kid at a swap meet like a year ago. I bought some 650B Beast fenders, like the modern gray aluminum PDW fenders, which are like $175 now. I think he gave them to me for like 10 or 30 bucks or something. It was pretty cheap. I was going to put them on the Terry, and I never did, and I ended up putting them on my sister's bike because I sold the Terry. I thought they'd fit. He was looking for a way to attach to the brake bridge, and it had the old 80s style, just like little block. It's like a machined block instead of tubes. It's a little skinny tube, and it comes out machined on like every 80s bike ever. Very cool. I think it was one of the yellow bikes from last week I just put away, but I'm not going to go get it. I was explaining to him that what he probably needs is to go to the hardware store. I had some. I told him he'd have some if he wanted. I go to the hardware store and really measure a bunch, but you need like one of these little R clips to go around the tube and then pinch tight to the fender. You can bolt it on as long as it's real tight on the tube. You can also use chunks of old inner tube, or sometimes lights come with these little strips, little rubber strips that don't seem to die in the weather and the sun. Use a couple layers of this, but it's got to be real tight, so you get the right size. He said okay, and he didn't want any. He said he's going to like measure it and go to the hardware store. I was like, cool. He said he was really happy with the bike otherwise. So that was exciting. I love hearing. I've had 2 customers come recently who bought bikes from me in the last couple of years to come and tell me how much they love with the guy I built the old early 70s Peugeot PX10 for. Well, I built it for myself with old 27-inch wheel, single speed wheels, and a silver riser bar, and then all vintage Peugeot stuff, all vintage French stuff, and overhauled it. He said he loved that bike so much, even though it was a single speed, he'd do the STP, and he just couldn't get back on one of the modern bikes. And so he rode the whole STP on that single speed Peugeot PX10. He don't understand how well those old Reynolds 531 bikes really ride, especially those French ones, and the Nervex lugs, and the gorgeous old silver strong light parts. They're just the coolest. So he came in a couple months ago to tell me how much he loved that and taking it on the STP. And yeah, this kid told me he loved that Terry and was riding it, but it wants fenders. Terry's like too clean and nice. Part of me knew if I put fenders on, I'd ride it in the mud and it'd get grody. So this bag I bought because I was thinking of him, and it was just sitting there, and it's just a bunch of R clips in different sizes. Really big ones. Some of these big ones are good for like suspension forks. People come with hybrids with like giant ugly suspension forks. Like, I want fenders, and there's no eyelets on them, so you can use one of these big giant ones. They're on the big giant round forks, so you can get fenders on their bike. So a few of these. There's also, more funly, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's good. 4 of these bad boys. So this is just a little steel galvanized strap. You see it's got that little square on the very top? This is to go around your down tube without water bottle braze-ons. And most water bottles have a little lip with the hole drilled in it. So you can either bolt it through your eyelet, or you can slide that little lip underneath this little square and just tighten this on. So it's like a clamp on. So you can use 2 of these to clamp your water bottle onto your frame. So Velo Orange still makes these. They're only a few bucks a pair, with bolts and all that. But they're really cool for vintage bikes if you want a second water bottle or a third one or any at all. A lot of old bikes have none because A lot of old bikes don't have any braze-ons at all because I think they were scared the tubes were getting so light, or it's just a waste of labor. But I heard the tubes are just getting so light and so thin they're getting scared about putting holes in them in weak spots of the braze-ons. But it turns out it doesn't matter at all. A million frame builders have used insanely light tubes with all the braze-ons in the world and never had a frame fail from it. Yeah, and a couple of plastic light mounts with little shimmy things. That's from usually when I sold a lot of lights. These extra ones are always handy now. I don't sell any lights. It doesn't really matter. So that is a cool little bag of junk. It's $2 a pound. I think not a chance this is a pound, but it's a good deal. And then as I was leaving, we almost forgot to ask to look in the actual trailer. So the trailer, they stuff all the scrap metal in. It's a lot of bikes and stuff they don't think it's even nice enough to put it salvage. There's a lot of stuff that was at salvage no one bought. They'll throw it in the trailer. So I went and dug in the trailer, and I got to do it there for the first time ever. And the first thing I noticed in this giant pile of wheels was a couple of Shimano 600 wheels. 600 tricolor! Apparently the value is coming down on that stuff a lot as fewer and fewer people know, but tricolor stuff is nice. I have no idea if there's anything wrong with the rim. There probably is. It's a hard anodized rim, and the brake track is worn through the anodizing, and sometimes you'll see a hole or spokes pulled through or a wear spot or a big dent. So I don't know. But I grabbed it and I felt this side. This cone is so smooth. It is the smoothest thing I've ever felt. I'm like, oh yeah, this is absolutely worth saving. This side, oh, I swear it felt more gritty. When I was walking the car, I was like, ew. But actually that feels pretty smooth. I think this hub is 100% worth cutting out and saving. I bet you those cones are nice. I bet it cleans up real nice. And they came in 2 different versions, this era of Shimano stuff. Well, they came in like 4 different versions. They came with a freewheel. So it's just a big threaded piece of machined threading onto the hub itself, and then just a big exposed piece of axle. Then they came with an early, like 6-speed cassette body. So it's had this style ratcheting cassette body, but they only had threads on the outside, so you had to thread on. I think you slid on the first 5 cogs, and then you just threaded the last cog on as a lock ring. Then they came in a 7-speed, which was the same, but also added the modern style threads on the inside for an actual lock ring instead of using the last cog like a lock ring. Then they came in 8-speed, so slightly wider body with that internal thread. So that internal thread and this external thread, there's a very good chance this is 8-speed. 8-speed's what I want. You can fit 8, 9, 10-speed cassettes on it. You can fit a Mountain 11 on it if you really wanted to. 8-speed's the truth. 7, you're stuck with 7. The earlier weird 6 ones take a totally different cassette. You can't get them. It's expensive. There's another Shimano wheel there that had one of those. I didn't even take it. It had a cassette on it, though. So one of the other guys grabbed it. It was like, yeah, but this cassette's worth its weight in gold. It's good for partsmen. That's true. It's true for eBay guys. There's fewer and fewer. I had a Durace one. I was up on eBay for a long time before I bought it, and I was pretty surprised. But it used to be, 15, 20 years ago, tons of commuters sold old road bikes with those old style 6-speeds. The trick was, if you wore them out and they wouldn't hold the chain, they were skipping. You'd take the whole thing off, you'd flip every cog over upside down. So now it's the other side of the tooth wrapping the chain. So every cog was like brand new again. So you double the life of the cassette, except for that lock ring. The thread on lock, you can't just like flip it over and thread it on. So you usually just lock that 6th gear out. So you essentially made it a 5-speed. It was like brand new again. New chain, flip the cogs over. That was the old mechanic trick for a long time. So I'll see if this rim is in good shape, and if so, I might just clean it and, put some fresh grease in those hubs and call this a totally party and fun wheel. And if it's dead at all, cut it out like we did in the last 2 videos ago. We will cut it out, save that hub. I'm always selling 600 wheels and hubs. I'm always hoarding it, waiting for a cool road frame to do a build, and then people are always raiding it. One time I had enough stuff to do a whole build, and the guy called me, an old bike farm kid, he called me. He's like, I got this cool bike. I need a whole 600 group for it. He came over and paid like $250, $300. He bought a good set of used wheels, bought the brakes, crank, he bought everything from me. Shifters, I had the whole thing. I was like, oh man, I have enough to do a bike myself. Oh well. This is a mismatched front wheel. It is all silver rim. Probably, I don't know, I can almost see the sticker. It reminds me of what it is, but I can't think of the name. So faded. Also, the brake track is not bad at all on this rim. So I'll have to put it in the wheel touring stand and see if it's actually round or true or savable. Same thing, 600 front, buttery smooth hub. I'm assuming they only threw it out there because either this wheel is S-bent or egg-shaped. I'm not seeing it. It had one broken spoke. It's one broken spoke. That's all I see is one. Maybe they just didn't want to clean it. Maybe they didn't want to replace the spoke. Maybe they didn't want to put $40 of the labor into it to only be able to sell it for $5. I'm surprised they didn't put it salvage. I'd have bought it on the side. Oh, 2 broken spokes. All right, 2 broken spokes. Like, whatevs, 2 broken spokes. Old cheap spokes. I'll pop 2 spokes in this. If it's cool otherwise. Use it. Like, you know, it's scruffy, but everything's totally flat. No indents. It's like no actual wear, just like some dirt lines. And 2 broken spokes. I'm afraid of that. Or again, we'll cut it out, nice hub. There's this one. Oh wait, this is later. This is Bike Farm. Let's do the Bike Farm stuff. So we went to Bike Farm after burritos. Me and Gary and Curtis, and they got there. They somehow... We all leave at the same time, and somehow their cars are parked and they're inside already when we get there. I'm like, we go the same route? I don't know. So already inside, and they were trying to call at me, and they're trying to show me stuff in the back, and I immediately ran into a cool guy. He came up and said, oh, hey, and blah, blah, blah. So talking to me, he's like, oh, I watch your videos. He lives in a really small town in really southern Oregon. He's up for the weekend for a show and to check out some of the bike shops and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's awesome, man. You here because you see my videos? Like, so I talked to him for a minute, and I told him he should come by the shop if he had time, and he did. A few hours later, he came by the shop and hung out for a minute, let me show him some stuff. But he had to get to family dinner. But he said he's probably coming up to the next swap meet. Oh, do you know there's another swap meet coming up already? The Balearic Ranch Pizza one, which is my absolute favorite swap meet in the world. It's $20 if you want a table. They almost always have room. It's spring. That's the first one of spring. It might be packed. The ones they do at the very end of the year in the winter, the weather's bad, are often only like half full, which is nice for crowding. But man, sometimes they are so full, and everyone is selling everything for so cheap because everyone wants to get new crust bikes and stuff. So they're selling their Velo Orange stuff and their vintage parts for $10 or $80 seat posts and stuff. I got to the point where I stopped getting tables there. Tables are $20. And they come with a double-sized slice of pizza. It's like a square, but it's like 2 big slices thick, really fancy handmade pizza there. And a beer. You can get like a $9 beer and, like a $10 or $14 slice of pizza for free with the ticket when you buy a table. And they give you a full-sized picnic table. Plus you can put bikes, next to it and around it and behind it and stuff. So I stopped because the deals are too good. I started just taking like $400 with me and just spending all of it. Like I always go on my bike. I overload my bike so crazy. You can barely ride back to the shop. My shop's like less than a mile from there. It's super easy. Except for it's through Ladd's Edition. And if you've ever been to Portland, you can see Ladd's Edition from satellite photos. It is so crazy. It's like this whole neighborhood, and it's turned on its side, and all the streets are sideways. There's a whole bunch of roundabouts that are like rose gardens in the middle. It's really cool, but it's easy to get lost in there. Like, I think I'm on the right way. I think I need to take a left up here. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait, I'm on a different main street, like way on the other side. I didn't realize I was at. Oh, well. So last year, the last swap meet I went, just because I'd reopened the shop, so I took a couple of bikes I'd modified, and I rode my handmade bike there and just sat it next to my table, because I just want to show off that I'm here and doing work again. So I may do that again, because no one really cares about the old vintage parts but me, so like everyone's selling, no one's buying, so I'm better off buying. So I may or may not have a table at this one next month. I'll probably just go by, if I make up enough money to cover this month's rent, which I have not done yet. Even close, it's horrifying. I'm not even a third of the way there. Taking time off for the surgery, and everyone's wanting to give me business. Everyone's so cool, but everyone wants their frame dimpled and realigned, and that's the most physical thing I do. And my doctor's like, you cannot do anything physical. So everyone's hitting me up to give me business and money, but it's all stuff I cannot do. I said for at least 4 more weeks after my 1 week completely off. We're in. Today marks the first day of week 3, so we're halfway there. I'm going to start trying to do some stuff Wednesday. I got 2 frames in the shop already that want to be respaced and aligned. One of them wants to be dimpled, respaced, aligned, and some braze-ons on both of them. So I got to do them. do them, get them done. And what was the point? Okay, so I saw him and talked to him for a minute, and then another one of my friends who's the coolest guy. It's the nice bike dude. He's worked in bike shops forever. He's known everyone. He has like half this town's frame builders, like second or third frame, because he worked with them. They all got started at the same shop, and so we supported him early on. Cool guy. He said he's brought some bikes in for me to do some repairs and mods on. He said he's got a couple more he wants to bring in. He's doing one called the Milli Vanilli. I think he said, he wrote me on Instagram about it. It's like some fake bike or something, and he's going to put like fancy stickers, decals, like he's going to do something fun. It's going to be fun. So I saw him there, he's donating some stuff. And then I went and looked around. I only had a few minutes because I was talking for forever, and I wanted to get the shop by 1 to open. And I dug around and I found I'm missing one of the things like always, I bought a small handful of hardware and I must have left it in the car. I'm going to run and grab it in a minute. I hope I don't forget. I'll probably forget. So I went to Bike Farm, talked to those guys. First thing I noticed was this set of old Leotard pedals sitting in the case. They're just old, crappy French pedals. They have both the dust caps. They're both kind of scruffy, but not super rusty. They're the longer, wider, flat ones. I even told the guy who was buying them, I was like, what are these? I'm like, there's a sticker on them saying, not French thread. It's handy to know. And then the L for left and the R for right, where French stuff, it's like a G and a D or something. French pedals usually have much shorter amounts of threads, too. So there's lots of good dead giveaways are not French. That's all right. I have a lot of French cranks that are already English thread, and I told them that. I'm like, a lot of French cranks came English thread. A lot of French cranks have damaged pedal threads, and you can just tap them right out to English. It's really easy to do, so a lot of them have been tapped out. These also have the cool little like crosses in there, and like I think that no, it's got to be steel. They're cool. I like them. For a French pedal, they're really, really wide. I told him that. He's like, these are so narrow. But these are the widest French pedals you can get, and most French pedals have like a big giant spike right here to hold your foot. My feet are way too wide, so I sometimes leave this spike on so I don't get my foot too far over and start rubbing the crank. But if there's one over here, I have to file flat. I have some of these, but in steel, so I can't really do that. It'll rust. But these teeth are usually not sharp enough, so you take a file in here. I did a whole video on it once called Constructor Modified Pedals for that PX10 I did. I took a file in here and sharpened all of these teeth. Not a lot, but like 3/4 of the way sharp. I don't want to cut my shoes, but I wanted to get a little bit more grip. So I'm excited about these, and if the cranks I decide to end up using are not French thread, I will probably use these pedals, and if not, I'll use them the next one. One of them feels brand new, the other one feels pretty gross. Medium gross. For a pedal, it doesn't really matter. I'll dump some chain lube in there and just ride them. If I really care, I'd open them up and put fresh waterproof grease in and try and readjust it slightly better. I'm bad at adjusting the cones and pedals. Like, almost always the left one will over-tighten on me somehow. Once I start riding, I'm like, what? Gotta futz with it twice to stop doing that. So I'm excited about these. I think he only charged me like $8. Like sometimes the kids there are really nice to me. And sometimes I don't care. Like, they're not hurting for money at all right now. Bike Farm's always been hurting for money. But I think that this giant warehouse, I think they pay like almost nothing in rent because they're not profit. They probably have some deal. Everyone's a volunteer, so the money doesn't need to go anywhere other than rent and bills. And they started carrying some new parts. We used to be no new parts for like a year. We finally started carrying tubes and things. And then all the other shops got mad at us because we were selling tubes to our members for wholesale. I'm like, no, you have to charge the same prices as us on stuff. You have to. It's not fair. Especially since you get it all donated and everybody else has to buy their used parts to sell them. So we had to go up to $6 whole for tubes. So $8, good deal. A lot of those kids will look everything up on eBay and then want like, they're trying not to ask full eBay prices, try to ask like half or 3/4 or whatever, but it's frustrating. Stop looking at stuff. We need to write a price on the Sharpie. Put it out for everybody. You can't base the prices on who's buying. They do a lot of sliding scale stuff, it's true. So I saw these pedals, so I grabbed them at the end and $8, and I was like, I can't not get them. The rest of the stuff I got there I couldn't find just now, and I went to check my pockets on my jacket. I'm going to check the car. I went to check my pockets on my jacket. My jacket was feeling really heavy, and I wonder why. Here's this giant 1 3/8 wrench that I think was in the free pile at Bike Farm. And I don't know, it might be for some dumb English stuff, maybe for something cool. It does look like there's regular steel instead of like the weird Park Harden stuff. It looks like someone might have taken a file to it already to open it up. I wonder if I can get this to 38 mil for French bottom brackets. So I just grabbed it because it was free. I was like, oh yeah, this is a couple of pounds. This I found at Bike Farm. It is a bag of 4 brand new canty bolts, matching long canty bolts. Sometimes you're asking me to try and buy bolts and things. Like, do you need all those? You didn't ask this time. It's like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, I do. I get all these candy sets all the time. I never have the bolts. So yay! I'm so good at hoarding though. I reorganized all my bolts and went through all my candy straddles and found all these bolts, and I have just 20 matching sets now and another like 10 or 12 sets of just like a pair. So I'm starting to really get a collection of a whole drawer full of them now. Found another one of these straddle hangers, man. Tektro black straddle. It's got a athlete's lounge sticker on it for $4. These things are $15 now plus shipping, and they're hard to find. Like, I haven't been able to buy these from a bike wholesaler in a long time. I was buying them on eBay a lot. It's like no one was carrying them. Sunlight started making them again. You can get them for a minute. But yeah, these are like $15, dude. So brand new with the straddle cable and little Allen wrench. These are my favorite ones. Have the pinch bolt in the center, and then the straddle cable goes here and down to each canny. And they have 2 little pinch bolts on each end. These are fantastic for cannies that don't have the spring tension adjuster on the canny, or don't have spring tension adjusters at all, or one spring's really mangled and one's not. So like, you know, one brake wants to be rubbing your rim and one brake wants is really strong and wants to be pulling all the way this side. So you can pull this slightly to even the brakes and then tighten it down here. So the brakes are centered and work correctly, because this thing's holding them in place. You should try and bend the springs or adjust those things. Some cannies are a nightmare, especially on customers' old bikes, their old wacky worn out stuff. They won't replace it. So I'm like, okay, at a minimum, you have to have one of these. I don't care. Like, I'm not trying to, I can't fight your brakes for 4 hours because they're worn out and magically make them work. I'm putting this on and making them just work right away. I love these. I probably have 15 or 20 of them, mostly that I bought on eBay for full price because they just weren't around for years. One time I found some guy from Europe or the Netherlands or something, and he had a case of these. A bunch of red ones, blue ones, some purple ones, and mostly silver, which I want, some black. But a case of these, and he wanted $60 or $70 the whole case, plus like $30 shipping. So $100 for like, I don't know, 50 sets of these. It was heaven. It lasted me for years. Sold all the cool color ones for double. And I sold them all before I closed Northern. I mean, they only lasted like a year or two. They were gone. I couldn't get these anywhere. So I love these. I hoard them. I have every one. I buy every one I see. And I found 3 or 4 sets like this in old stock. And no one ever knows what it is. They look like, I don't know. Price tag only said $4. I was just like, yeah, whatever, $2 then. I'm like, yes. I also found this in the donations. I was very excited. It's a bag of Wheels Manufacturer adapters. It's the entire bag. And the kid didn't know what it was, and so he asked me, and so I told him honestly. And it says on the bag, read. It's a weird little plug, and this is for rims that have been drilled out to the larger Schrader tube size, like vintage style stuff. You can stick this through the rim, put the rim tape over it, and it'll hold in place because it's got a little lip around the top. And then you can run your skinny Presta valves in. So it's just an adapter for that. So you try and do that on their own. The rubber is like touching the inside of the rim, and it'll tear as they get old or tear off. There's in there unsupported. It's no bueno. A couple of old valve cap adapters have a little lip on them, so you can use those. Like some tubes came with Presta valves that thread down and have a little lip that you could put down, and that kind of worked. But these are really the right thing, and I just have random ones I found, and I've given them all away to random kids in the alley, like random kids who need a flat repair or something, which I do occasionally, like maybe a couple a month, not very often. So a whole bag of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so that's 3 wheels worth. It's like $2 or $3. I think he charged me $8 for the pedal and 7 or 8 for all the other stuff. I also found these 2 things in my pocket. This is an oversized 28.6 Diacomp top tube cable clamp for modern oversized bikes like SE single speeds and stuff. I have 2 of these at the shop, and I found the 3rd one here. So I need to put it back in my pocket to get to the shop. And then Curtis found this in the recycling while there. I believe this is a Velo Orange locking skewer head. So like the locking part goes in here for your little wrench. So those little stainless steel teeth, they're in good shape. There's no plier marks on it. Sometimes I get these and there's like plier. Someone tried to steal the wheel and couldn't. There's like plier marks all over it. So I was like, yeah, I want this. There's also a complete one at Bike Farm, but I didn't want to pay $10, whatever real price they wanted. And then salvage, I always grab them. If they're swap meets, I always ask people for a few bucks because Velo Orange stopped making these for like 5 years, and I begged them to bring them back, and they did. You know, or at least I'm a factory, because I definitely begged them, like, you have to bring, these are the only locking skewers. Everyone in the world has complicated, expensive locking skewers, and it always takes me 2 seconds to break into them. Get a wheel off, bring them in, don't have the key, or bought the bike used, or whatever. These VO ones, I see these with plier marks all over them all the time on people's riding bikes. I'm like, oh look, someone tried to steal your wheels and couldn't. So these are like $20 from VO. Sunlight makes them too in black, but they're also very hard to find sometimes. Some other company called Chaser used to make them in red and orange and green. I bought a bunch of them on eBay once and never saw them again, but I had those for a while. So I love these VO locking skewers. They are my favorite. They look big. They look like they're easy to get pliers on. They look like they should be easy to be stolen. Never had a single customer in the thousands of these I've sold ever told me that someone got them all the way off. And I've had lots of customers come with plier marks all over them. Their wheels are still on their bike. So I like them. So I found that, digging around in just the big bin of fresh donations, and I found this back there too. Strong Light. Oh, this does have I could not, for the life of me, see the stamping, but it's the Strong Light 42 tooth inner ring. So the outer rings are usually always 53, but the inner rings are all over the place on these things. 42 is the smallest I've ever seen, unfortunately, but I have several cranksets of these on with like a 47, 46, 47, 48 inner ring. I can't ride any of that. So the 42 is cool. I'm very happy about it. I think he charged me $8. Usually 8 is their minimum for chainring, so I thought this would be 16 or 20. They asked me what it was. I told them it's an old French chainring. I told them it's not actually very solid or valuable. They make millions. These are on everything. They never wear out. But I have one that has too big of an inner ring, and I want this 42 because it's the smallest I can go. It's got the bolts, but like these are like later ones, so like nothing's like chrome, nothing's shiny. This whole thing's like kind of metal corroded. It actually looks really cool. Maybe I will use this on the Allegro project and do the trick I like to do where I cut all the teeth off, make it a bash guard. You go one by, just the 42. I could. I keep going back and forth whether I'm gonna do one by or gonna go double because the rings on it were 54, 47. I can't. Fuck you. But I also got some more TA cranks yesterday. I have $0. I was like, I think I have money in my Venmo. I didn't have $60 in my Venmo. We went on 120. Checked my bank account. I had $102. So he said I can do it for $100. So I Venmoed him $100 for some TA cranks with some more modern rings. It's like 44, 28 outer rings, which I love. My favorite size. I was kind of hoping the outer one would be dead so I could justify cutting the teeth off. I asked some of my other friends who are into vintage bikes if they have any outer TA smaller rings that are dead, and they're like, oh, it's recycle. I'm like, no, recycle them, give them to me, I'll cut the teeth off, make them bash guards, I'll do tons of cool one buys. So one of my friends will look. So yeah, I can do the bash guard one by. It is fun, and this thing has it's like, these things are always really, really shiny, like high polished in France in the 60s, and fine. This one's actually like really speckly. It almost looks like it's got I don't know if the camera's picking it up. It almost looks like it's got like like little light rust pitting all over it, like chrome does. It's just like dirt, and alloy corrodes white a little bit, so it's like dirt staining, a little white corrosion. God, it'd kind of be perfect. I could put that 49D on it. We'll see. So got this. So these pedals and this chain, high-level French parts are exciting. I was looking at the pumps and this one SKS. It looks really vintagey though. Super Corsa, made in Germany, 59 to 64. So it's a big boy, but it's mostly not leaking air, and it's spring loaded, and it's a pump. I could not grab it. I think they charged me like $3. They had a big free pile of wheels. They were all junk. This is an old 80s mountain bike wheel. Wide, black, steel rim, steel hub. It's got a Shimano freewheel on it. It is rusty. It's a little rusty. It's a little dark. But just in the light, I was looking, and the teeth look good. It looks like it has very little wear. 6-speed freewheel. All the modern Shimano freewheels are junk. They're made of the cheapest steel ever. They might last 100 miles. Maybe they're junk. So I'm always looking for these older ones. And I'm going to try and clean it and look in here a little later in the light and see if those teeth are any good. And if they are, I'm going to pull this freewheel off. And if they're not, I'll just throw this whole thing back in the recycling. Well, really what I'll do is put it out in the alley for homeless people. They're always grabbing all the weird bike parts I leave out there trying to fix junk. This is Portland. It is 50% homeless people now. Like 50% of people, everybody drives now. So 50% of people I deal with, I'm out and about and walking in my alley and stuff are homeless people. When I was a mailman, it was the same thing. It was like 80% of people during COVID stepping over people's lying on the sidewalk with needles in their arm. It was out of control. Someone carved their serial number or their driver's license number. Old guys used to love to do that. It's lightly scratching this top tube. But we went to look at their frame pile. The big frame pile, sliding scale, $0 to $10. I wasn't going to get anything, and everything in there's poop. And I'm like, I don't care. This crescent was in there. I looked all over for the fork. I did not see it. I asked everyone there if they knew if there was a fork for it. No one did. No one had ever seen this frame before. It is Crescent made poop bikes and good bikes. Looks like one of the better ones. It's got Reynolds 531 sticker. Guild, Clovette, Crescent. So I think Crescent is a Swiss brand. I'm pretty sure the bottom bracket threads will be Swiss. And I know for a while, I'm not sure it was every bike, but I know a lot of Crescents use their own headset and threading size. And so I'm afraid that this thing's cut oversized and I will not be able to get a headset for it. But old Schwinn's are oversized. BMX was oversized. I might be able to get a BMX or old Schwinn headset. I know Chris King made an oversized one for Vintage BMX. So I might be able to get a headset for it, but I'm going to have to go measure it when I get to the shop, try and stick some cups in. I might run my ISO reamer right through it to see if it's really ISO, or if not, I'll cut it to ISO so it'll be normal. If it's not already bigger than that. I feel like they're bigger. Their forks are the same way. I think their crown races are really big size. I think there's a lot of weird stuff about these Crescents. But it's a Reynolds 531 frame. It's got full Nervex lugs. It has the head badge. Nervex lug. It's got the right seat binder bolt, even though it's just cheap looking. It's got campy, long rear dropouts. The brazing and cleanup work actually looks fairly crude. That might just be a little dent. No, I think it's like crude. I think it's like really bad brazing and really crude grinding. But I mean, it's beautiful. It's got big dimples back here. It's probably original 27-inch wheels. This might fit 650B 42s just as is, if not 38s, easy. And then if I did that, I could do all the frame mods. Put any fork that's cool in, or maybe even make a custom fork with a cool biplane crown or something that's horrible and ridiculous. Hi, Hopper. Hi, Hopper, what you doing? Hi, Hoppies, what you doing? You all wet? You got muddy paws? Whole house is covered with muddy dog paws. Come say hi, Bub. There you go. Here's Hopper. He's all wet. He's slinking over. Hi, Bub. Yeah. Okay, you can get down. You can go put your muddy paws on the pillows again. Always come home and he's like, managed to like pull my bed covers over, put muddy paws on the pillowcase. You jerk. So I got this Crescent. It is super cool. It's got a sticker from, Vancouver, Washington. The Cycle House. There's been several bike shops in Vancouver, but they're not here anymore. They go to business. I think there's just the nonprofit. There might be another nonprofit downtown too, but I haven't found it. I should really go look. And there's one weird one, like kind of way out. Has a lot of Huffies and department store bikes too. I think it's got whatever you can get, But I think he's like the only shop that I can find on Google or see anywhere that's a bike shop up here. He was real nice. I went in there. It's just him and his wife running the place. So you gotta see, it's got the one strong light Swiss cup stuck in it, just like my Allegro had. But I got it. I'll try and get this one out. And it's Swiss. That's cool because the difference between Swiss and French is 35x1 threads. And French cups are both righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Italian's that way too. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey with a 36x1 or whatever. Where English stuff's all smaller than both. And English, the fixed cup, the drive side cup, is reverse thread, so it doesn't come loose in the frame while you're riding. So Swiss did the same thing. It's French threads and size, but they're reversed just this cup. So if this cup's in good shape and I get it out and there's nothing wrong with it, any vintage strongline bottom bracket is now I can put this on instead, make it a Swiss thread, which is cool for the very few Swiss threads I do. Swiss is also insanely easy to tap out to English. Because at least the threads are going the right way, and English is slightly larger, so you can just run the taps right through and just push them around. So I may tap this out to English, or I have some Strongline bottom brackets. Maybe I'll reuse this cup and put the rest of the French Strongline stuff in, and then I can use cool Strongline cranks or whatever. Leave it Swiss, which is fun and cool for nerd's sake, but is also terrible for future serviceability. I like to make things easy to service. A lot of people don't work on vintage bikes anymore, so if everything's regular English threaded, those parts are easy to order. If everything's 130 spaced in the back, you can just put any set of new road wheels on. Like, it's a lot easier while still looking vintagey and cool. So I'm in love with this little Crescent. I'm gonna give her a look over, and if there's nothing wrong with it, I paid $5. Sliding scale 0 to 10, I said 5. I'm broke, but also I want to support the shop a little bit. 5 seems pretty reasonable. And also, I might run my reamers through this, and they might just flop in here. It might just be totes boned. But we'll see. I'm going to go on Sheldon Brown and do some research about this right now. See what he has to say, so we can find out the old Crescents. But I remember some people having some lower end Crescents and bringing them into the community cycling center, and I was hanging out there. All my friends worked there back in the early 2000s, in the early aughts. I've been having problems like that, being like, oh, you cannot fix this headset. Like, you cannot get stuff. You're boned. Head badge is cool and fun. I want to do a weird Frenchy head badge like this. I found a guy who remakes machinist panels on the internet, so you can design it on the thing and have the computer cut it out and laser etch the thing and put some enamel on it and make like any old 30s, 40s, 50s, like remake a machinist panel. A lot of old French bikes just have those kind of tags as headsets, and I think I might have him like laser cut me and machine old machinist panel style head badges, and then just do this with little tiny rivets or little tiny screws. Hardware stores got like little number 4 screws and brass. Little number 4 taps are always too long. So I've like changed head badges or getting something repainted. I've drilled out the original rivets and tapped them to little tiny screws. And I cut the screws down so it's only a couple of millimeters of threads, and they're all so tiny, so they don't poke all the way through and rub your fork. They only come in like 4 millimeters of threads. Like I get them down to like 2.5 or something. But that would be real fun to do. And he's not that expensive. He did a single custom one for like $50, or I think my friend says it's $50 in design work and $50 in actually laser cutting and etching and polishing and enameling it. And he has some videos and photos on his Instagram of him doing like whole sheets of them and stuff. So I bet it's a lot cheaper for a whole sheet. I bet it's not $50 each. It might be $50 for the whole sheet plus an extra 10 or 15 for each individual one for enameling or polishing or finishing or whatever. So I might someday if I make rent this month and next month, then maybe I'll be able to start saving some money in spring and summer and order some cool head. Because right now I just use my sticker. At Northern we had cool head badges. Curtis is working on that one for me and he kind of gave up on it. He tried to give it to me like 3/4 of the way done. I'm like, no finish. He's like, that's too hard. I think he's lost interest. So I might do that logo, the Curtis logo. I might do something real simple machinist-y. I just might use my regular logo. I don't know. But it'd be real fun. Little tiny screws, little tiny brass screws, little tiny brass rivets. I would love it. Oh, Nervex logs. It's a teeny. Oh, we measure this in. It's a teeny little guy. Let's measure it. Let's measure it. What you doing being so teeny, little Crescent? This is my size, and I could figure out the headset thing. I would have to build me a Lego. So about the center to about the top is about a 51. Really close to a 52. 51.5. I don't know how everybody measured their frames different back in the day. With a 54 top tube, so that's nice. Long top tube sucks unless you're doing a rando bike. So it makes sense with a really short stem, keeping the bag up all tight. Have an old Motivacon fork that might be really cool on this, but I don't know if I trust it. The frame was like cracked. I know I have some Nervex looking fork crowns. I know I have some Vicente fork crowns, some cool stuff. Do I want to make a $600 handmade custom fork for a $5 bike? I don't know, maybe. Especially if I found somebody who was the right size and absolutely was in love with the the head badge and lugs and stuff the way I am. Be fun to do all the mods and just hit a little bit of spray paint. Maybe some fresh stickers that are really screwy. Or get the whole thing powder coated and put all new stickers on. But like, the original Crescent stickers on the seat tube are amazing. This whole water slide from the Vancouver sales place is amazing. The old Reynolds 5311 is, of course, all mangled like they always are, but still super cool. Oh, there's a weird detail. The rear bridge has like an extra little stiffener tube over it. That's something you never see on bikes. It's cool. It's cool. One last thing. Promise, very last thing. No worries. Oh, don't bend over. Oh, I didn't show them. I have them. I was going to show them in the video. I got 2 new things for to show in the video. I got some TA water bottle boss bolts. Another frame builder had them on eBay. And the language didn't make any sense. And it was like $50. It looked like it was $50 for 1 pack of 20. I'm like, no. I messaged him to make sure. He's like, no. It's $50 for 5 packs of 20. So 100. And then the water bottle boss, the star adjuster behind them, and a chromed bolt. Vintage TA stuff from the 70s. So cool. The star adjusters I always put on vertical, but these ones are bent to go on horizontal. Super cool, $50. Ordered those dudes. They showed up. And then another guy on Facebook Marketplace put up a set of 650B wheels for $60. They're used, generic, like came on a crust or All City or something. So they're black. They're like fake Shimano hubs, like black Shimano hubs, black rims. Machine for rim brake, 130 space. I would have bought them with 130, 135. I love a 135 back wheel, honestly. So I got them. The back wheel's a little rough. The front one looks, he had it serviced. It's real nice. I talked him to $40 because he said both of them were serviced and only the front was. The rear was a little gritty, a little dirty. Hubs felt a little crunchy. Definitely have to service them, do some rounding and truing. I got them for frame builder wheels. They might eventually go on some build. I want to do a black build on something cheap. But I asked Curtis, I know he'd been hoarding these tires, doesn't really like them, so I asked if he had an extra set. He did. These are the WTB Horizon 650B 47s. These are around, they're cheap, no one cares. They're always like $15 at swap meets, in great shape. There came on a bunch of stock 650B bikes, and I wanted to go out and buy, fancy tires. So I want these for frame builder wheels. I'm gonna get those round and true and dished and perfect, and put these tires on them for permanence, so I can set them up and easily, even though I have the tire checker tool. It's nice to have multiple forms of verification. So set them up and get these guys on and stick them in frames and see what the clearance really looks like on bikes. And it's just fun to have different wheels and tires to mismatch in frames. And when I take photos of frames, I like to put a set of wheel and tires under them for the photo, because it frame builders just take awkward pictures of frames by themselves or on some weird stand they made, and they're always just like, that's weird. Frames look awkward by themselves, but man, you put them on wheels and tires, they're like, good. Instantly kind of looks like a bike, even though the rest of the parts are missing. So Curtis gave me these. He brought them and gave them to me. I was going to give him something for them, and I forgot. We were all busy. He came to my shop, but it was cold, and trying to make 500 decisions. We were looking through all these different parts, and customers show up and start talking, and he got all out and had to go. And he paid me $30 for some random headset spacers and little things. He wasn't careful enough. Wasn't slow enough. So he immediately texted me like, man, I needed a couple more small spacers. I should have got them. I'm like, I know. Spacers are hard. Because you got a new crust. You got a crust whatever, and it's got a 1-inch threaded fork. And he's built it up and trying to get used parts for good deals for it. And he's found some good wheels at CCC and got a head set somewhere, a Velo Orange one. He said is all right. He's going to push it in. We'll see. Keep trying to explain to people there's a difference between JS and ISO, and most people just don't care and try and put it on. Or the last one he bought at the CCC, like, yeah, here's your silver one. It's all the right things. It was a French Velo Orange one. And the last wheel set he bought there is through axle. He went in there and labeled 142 through axle, and he bought them 135. I never even heard of that. Apparently some early thing. So they didn't even measure them. Yeah, it's 142. Measure your stuff when you label it. Stop assuming everything. Everything's the thing they want and fits, and it's not. So we back and they had a different set in good shape, and we swapped them for him. So he's got some used wheels, got a used headset. But he told me to understand the headset, so he took out the rubber seals and threw them away. I'm like, you don't ever throw away part of a thing. Especially if you don't understand it, you need that. It's a thing. It's right. So I showed him a couple headsets and explained, like, yeah, it presses into the top cap to keep water from going down. The other rubber seals go like on the bottom to keep dirt and water out, so you can wreck the bearings. Like, so I don't know. I told him I had some spare headsets. Some spare random mismatched parts. You could steal the seals out and see if they work. I don't know if he did or not. He grabbed a little handful of stuff. He Venmoed me $30 and he was out. While I was there talking to a different customer. It was busy yesterday. It was nonstop customers. I didn't get 5 minutes to myself to organize, put away, work on anything. So that was nice, but I only made $30 and then I had to spend $100. So I had to spend $100 on some TA cranks and rings that I already have, like 3 TA crank sets. But I don't have those rings, and the rings are really what I want, and the cranks are pretty silver, and the stickers are barely worn. They're like just the right amount of stuff. It's like not nice enough for a brand new handmade bike, but like not really patina. It'll go in like a really nice used bike with lots of really clean used parts, so it's nice. Maybe they'll go on this thing. So I got a lot of scores, even though Carl messaged us and said there was nothing. We didn't have to come if we didn't want to. I'm excited about this Crescent. Let me know if you have a weird old orange fork with a short threaded steer tube and kind of a wide chrome. Campy dropouts would be nice. Campy dropouts, violets. Keep everything matchy. That's what I want. That's what I want. Anyways, thanks for watching.